Hello Internet, this is either Roshi and I'm back with another reaction, this time reacting to Dahlia. Today's just Dahlia. I'm reacting to his collective miscellany, and I'll be reacting to his character teaser. Like I've said before in past videos, when we're introduced to Dahlia, or at least seeing him in trailers and such, don't really know much about him, other than that he's in Mondstadt, within the Church of Barbados, and pretty sure he's Hydro. Other than that, I don't really have much else to go off of. I don't know if this is a character that has been seen or referenced previously in the game. If so, I have not come across his name being mentioned at all as of yet in my playthrough. But then again, I am referring to things before Sumeru. So, there is that. As far as other things go, I kind of like his design. Something about the red or maroon, whatever you want to call that, and the white and the black and the little bit of gold here and there. I like that scheme. I think it's pretty cool. He looks pretty regal, you know. And then there's some other things, but I think I'm going to hold off with the rest of what I want to say about, I guess, this first impression until I actually get more of a first impression. So let's watch the collective miscellany, and then we'll move into his character teaser. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
はじめまして、私はダリア。セピロス教会の女祭で、風神バルバトスの伝道師です。お祈りの時間ですよ。
ダリアはチームメイトにシールドを付与し、攻撃速度をアップさせる水元素サポーターだ。元素スキルを1回押すと、ダリアは前方に霧雨の筆跡を作り出す。敵が触れると、この筆跡は周囲の敵に水範囲ダメージを与える。仲間が霧雨の筆跡に触れた場合、そのキャラを高く跳ね上げる。元素スキルを長押しすると、標準モードに入り、筆跡を出す位置を
I was messing around with subtitles. My apologies.
を与える。仲間が霧雨の筆跡に触れた場合、そのキャラを高く跳ね上げる。元素スキルを長押しすると、標準モードに入り、筆跡を出す位置を調整できる。
風神様のお告げです。
ダリアの元素爆発は周囲の敵に水範囲ダメージを与え、聖剣シールドを生成する。シールドのダメージ吸収量はダリアの HP 上限によって決まり、水ダメージに対しては追加の吸収効果を持つ。ダリアは元素爆発を発動すると、一定時間仲間にセピロスの恵みを付与する。これはダリアの HP 上限を基準にフィールド上キャラの攻撃速度をアップさせる。そしてフィールド上キャラが敵に通常攻撃を一定回数当てるか凍結反応を起こすと、ダリアは祝福を得る。セピロスの恵み継続中は聖剣シールドが破壊されても祝福を一層消費することでシールドを再生できる。時間は流れる。トラブルも楽しみも待ってはくれない。チームにダリアがいるとき、チーム内の自身のキャラは昼の間疾走効果を得て移動速度がアップする。ダリアのシールドは凍結反応系のチームでこそ進化を発揮する。戦闘中、ダリアが元素爆発でシールドを生成したら、他の仲間と連携して元素スキルで凍結反応を起こす。シールドを破壊されてもダリアはシールドを再度生成し、仲間を守ることができる。モンドは自由な場所だ。しかしその自由さゆえに奇妙な人物や事件に遭遇することもある。人助け好きなセピロス教会のダリアはそういった現場に現れる。彼は困っている人を見かけては手を差し伸べてきた。風神様のお恵みだから礼はいらないなどと言いながらな。ふん。彼の楽しげな表情を気にしないのなら助けを求めるといい。俺は遠慮する。
Huh. Okay. So we have Dahlia's collective miscellany here. And what I like about this is that what I like about the collective miscellanies the most is how we have Dainsleif, and how Dainsleif says some stuff usually towards the end that is more than just gameplay mechanics. A little more insight into the character and his personal feelings with what they do and who they are and etc. And Dainsleif seemed relatively fair here with, well, I don't know if fair is the right word, but reasonable, right? There's sometimes Dainsleif says things and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do appreciate every time is that he is still very much himself, and you can see his character in the dialogue. And I know we're supposed to be talking about Dahlia, and we are. But, like, one thing Dainsleif says is that this guy's always willing to help you. If you're in trouble and you go to him, he is going to help you. He does not like watching people necessarily struggle. Or if someone is in danger, rather, he's going to step in and he's going to do something. So, big respect, you know? At the same time, he's like, but you also have to deal with his snarkiness. He's going to look at you a certain way. He's going to smirk. He's going to smile. Like, you know, there's a little bit of like a slyness or like an uppity feeling to him, I guess. Not that things that didn't really say it in that way, but that's just how I've always seen him. That's the vibe I've gotten from him, that this guy feels like he has like a one-up on the person he's talking to always. That has this smirk, smile. There's a little bit of an arrogance there. That's just what it seems like, whether or not that's true or not. Because at the end of the day, he's still going to help you, right? It's kind of like someone who is going to do what they can to assist you in some way, but they're still going to rub it into your face at the same time a little bit. Just like, you needed my help, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know whether or not he's like that. That's just kind of the feeling that I got based off of what I've seen and what Dainsleif has said. Also, it's great at the end there how Dainsleif is pretty much saying that, you know, the guy is trustworthy and blah, blah, blah. And let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Yep, the little sly smirk. Then sure, ask away. As for me, I'll pass. Right, so it's just saying that he's like, yeah, ask him for help. He'll help you. Everyone can ask him. You should all ask him. I'm not, though. And why is that? Because he's associated with the church, and Dainsleif is like, nope. Do not want to go near or mess with, interact with Archons. Period. And that has been very true with everything we've seen about Dainsleif through these collective miscellanies and in the game, how he feels about the Archons and such. And that feeling is still very strong. Not that it would change anytime soon based off of what he's going through and if other theories are right and how long he's been going through it. Like, that's a whole thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we get from Dalia. He is a trustworthy individual who's a little bit of a snarky guy, but he's still going to help you. So he's not a bad dude. Although very involved with the church, and then that's a whole nother opinion with what you think about that. As far as mechanics go, what he does, once again, now I'm stepping in a realm that I'm not very good at deciphering, nor do I care to, because meta doesn't matter, but not how I play anyway. I'll keep saying that. Hydro, like I thought. Great, cool. Sword wielder, sure. And he's also... What else? What else was the other thing? Yeah, a support character, which they said. He's got his water bubble bounce thing. He puts the hydro glyph and you step on it and you jump and you go boop a little higher than normally. That could be potentially pretty cool for maybe plunge attacks. Although you already have people like other characters that can do that better, from what it seems like. But not necessarily, because like Xianyun is a 5-star and things like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. It can also help environmental wise to help you like get to higher places, possibly, all that stuff, or to give you that jump so you can glide elsewhere. You know, there are things you can use it for. There's utility to it. I like when characters have all sorts of utility to things. And this character's a 4-star, so they will be at least most likely easier to get when the banner comes out if people are pulling. So you're going to get access to this character I don't want to say relatively easier because some people struggle with getting 4 stars and some people might just have bad luck and just not get the guy at all, you know, which would be a shame. But it is what it is. It's an option. It's another option out there. And then provides a shield and helps the cryo reaction stuff. Great. Cool. I'm really liking how they have more help for cryo stuff. You know, like I've been saying for a while, cryo is making a comeback. They are trying to do things for cryo because it's been sitting in the back for so long compared to all the other stuff that has been getting buffed and boosted and all sorts of things. So I'm glad that it's kind of coming back. Not saying the other stuff shouldn't be, but someone who is very partial to cryo characters, I like this kind of thing. That's cool. Interesting enough, I feel like this is someone who would, I don't know, once again I'm talking out of my ass because I don't actually know. This is someone on par with Diona's build and stuff, like her whole kit. That's the word, kit. Diona's kit, because she's cryo, she's not hydro, but she applies the shield and she helps with cryo damage stuff, and she also does healing. Meanwhile, this guy has a shield, other utility, and potentially and then like helps with the cryo reaction stuff as well. Plus he's hydro, so doing the hydro damage and freezing enemies and such and blah blah blah. Even though I know people are like, you can't freeze bosses. I know, I get it, but there's more than just bosses in the game. It's whatever, and you could still do damage to said bosses even if they don't freeze in place. It's whatever. Anyway, but like I said, that's not in a realm that I'm experienced in, so you don't have to pay attention to anything that I said there. I could be way off, and by all means, if you want to talk specifically about Dahlia's kit in the comment section and explain away, then by all means you can do so. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the collected miscellany there. We saw a brief moment of Skirk animation with her attacks, and oh yeah, the attack speed. The freaking attack speed, man. That's a huge buff, in my opinion. I like attacking fast. This character is going to work really well with Skirk, her being like, you know, up close DPS melee character, cryo damage. Like, yeah, like it makes sense why they're on the same banner. Obviously, like, you know, I don't even have to say, like, that is the reason. It's all right there. Before we move on to the actual character trailer, I do want to take a moment, and I know people are going to ask me anyway because they skip through the videos, but I'm going to say it again here. I already made a community post about this too, but to be clear, I will not be reacting to Skirk stuff. I will not be reacting to her animation, which pains me. I will not be reacting to her teaser or her trailer. Why? Because of spoilers. Now, I know some people will be really confused and be like, well, you reacted to the version trailer, so what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do that and not this? Well, I've already reacted to all the other version trailers. Version trailers are trailers that are put together vague enough where they don't directly tell you something, and if they are telling you something, it's not really matched up with what the visuals are on screen, so it's a little more difficult to put together. And part of this channel was me reacting to version trailers and speculating about what happens next, right? So I'm going to keep doing that. There's no reason for me not to. I am still able to play through this game with the hints that I've been given through the version trailers and still be pleasantly surprised, getting my speculation wrong, and it's been a wild ride and a thrill that it's like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that, that's crazy, which is great. Or sometimes I get things right and I feel proud of myself. I win either way, And as far as you guys go, it should not affect you one way or the other. So there's that. Also, as far as her other stuff goes, well, the trailer, teaser, and animation, that is more specific to her, probably revealing her story more, and she's a very mysterious character who appears at some point in time that people have heard about, that people seem to care a lot about. I have yet to see or hear anything about her within my game, my playthrough at all, so I don't think this is a character I should be looking into when I have not run into her. Dahlia here is a little different because, I don't know, he's a character from Mondstadt. He's been in Mondstadt. Like, there's not really new material that's going to be connected to him as far as what they're going to be willing to show here, I imagine. Does that make sense? That's kind of how I feel about that. But Skirk, I feel like, has been a character that has been in... When it comes to a character that's been in the story for a bit, but they're kind of in the background, in the shadows, and they're doing stuff, and now there's the big reveal. But I'm not caught up, so I just don't feel like I should know that stuff. And there's also been word that there is a lot of lore stuff connected to her as well. World stuff that would be revealed if I were to watch that, and I'm just not at that point. It's things that I should not know yet for where I am in the game. And this also ties back to my Nod Cry reaction. Like I've mentioned, I've had a little bit of a discussion in my Discord, and the people within my circle who like to go out and like scout things for me to inform me whether or not something has a lot of spoilers in it or not. Nod Cry had a piece of dialogue referring to the Fatui in some way that my people in my circle considered to be a little spoilery. However, I'm getting comments on that video, kind of on both sides, where you should already know this stuff that they talk about is in version 1.1, and then I have other people saying, good thing you didn't see that, that would spoil something. So a little bit of a contradiction there, and I'm honestly just going to take the side of the people who care enough to support me financially, be in my Discord, and talk to me on a pretty normal, regular basis when it comes to Genshin stuff and me asking questions about what I can and can't do, and them being as genuine as possible because they have no reason not to be. There's been plenty of times where I've had people be like, I really want to see what you say about this, but I don't think you should see it because of how you want to play the game. So there's no weird ulterior motive or strange agenda going on or anything like that. It's literally just, I trust the people who support me the most when it comes to this stuff. So I'm going to take their word first, and not some rando on the internet who's just upset that I didn't hear a specific thing that they wanted me to hear, when they can literally go to any other reactor and listen to what they have to say. And that's just it. I think a lot of these people who are kind of confused, in a negative way anyway, are just randos stopping by just to see some random dude make a reaction off of something and then move on. As far as the people who are subscribed, who are curious and stuff, no one has really been rude, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, that's just how it is, and how I plan on carrying this out. One day I will react to Skirk stuff, but I'm going to learn more about her first before I do. There are plenty of other things for me to be thinking about right now besides the most current stuff. I just have to cover it in some way a little bit because that's just how things go here on YouTube. At the end of the day, I put my own enjoyment over the algorithm, honestly, because numbers and the little money that I do get from this does not compare to the enjoyment I get for doing something my way. And that's honestly what that is. If I didn't enjoy Genshin Impact the way I wanted to enjoy Genshin Impact, I would just not play Genshin Impact. The game, it has been fun. It's been great to discover lore and story stuff. I've had some great moments so far. I have my criticisms of the game. It's definitely not a perfect game. I wouldn't even put it in my top 10 games that I've ever played in my life, to be perfectly honest with you. But being my first actual gacha game that I've ever played, I have enjoyed my experience and doing the things I do with it on YouTube and so on and so forth. There is stuff that I get from it, but if I am unable to enjoy it in that way, I'd rather just not put up with the stress. And that's honestly it. I'm just being completely transparent with you guys. So I like Genshin Impact. I'm not in love with it. And I'm going to do what I want to do in order to have as much fun as possible through my perspective. And that's what that is. Anyway, let's continue with the things that I do like, and that is character stuff. We are going to move into Dahlia's character trailer now. All right, so now we're going to watch the character trailer. Dahlia, Rites of Relaxing Patrols. Rites of Relaxing Patrols. I can read. Here we go.
Thank you for your offering, dear friend. A meal like this is best paired with a glass of dandelion wine. Cheers! Let's stir things up. The wind is blowing. Let us pray. Surprise baptism. This should be fun. West Wind, carry me. Lord Barbados is communing with me on the evening wind. He sends you a solemn message. It's getting late. You should hit the hay.
Oh, man, that was... Is there anything else? No. That was too quick. That was way too quick. And I'm also saying that because I really enjoyed that and I wanted more. I kind of wish we had a little more voice lines from Dalia. He kind of said 2 or 3 things. And yeah, however, let's find something here. YouTube likes to be a little finicky right now. There we go. All right. So first thing that I want to talk about watching this character trailer of Dalia is that, other it being short and me wanting more of it because I liked its style that it was doing, and like I like the music. I always forget to talk about the music in these things. I feel like that's the case with me, because I'm just not incredibly music terminology savvy, and I forget. And I do focus on visuals more in general, but music makes up a huge portion of teasers and trailers, so on and so forth. And I think the music here was really good. It was really smooth. It was just, once again, don't know the terminology, don't know the words. I almost wanted to say felt like it was jazzy, but not really jazzy. It had like that smooth guitar to it. But it was chill. It felt adjacent to like lounge music where you're just hanging out, having some dandelion wine or something, you know, and just enjoying the vibes. That's kind of the impression I got from the music anyway. And I'm going to be honest, I am glad that Venti also had a line to say in this as well, because when I first started hearing Dahlia's voice, I was just like, that's Venti's voice. This is just Venti again. And I was going to come up with all sorts of crazy ideas, but turns out that Dahlia said something and then Venti said something. I'm like, oh no, there is a difference. There is a difference in their voices. They're not the same person. Thank God. Even though that would have been a kind of cool idea if it was just like Venti having another identity out there. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. Dahlia is their own character as far as I'm concerned as of this moment anyway. I think, but that also, I mean, I guess Dahlia knows Venti, but does Dahlia know that Venti is Barbados? Interesting. Like, we know some people do, like Jean knows, and pretty sure Diluc knows. Kaya's gotta know. Yeah. I'm wondering if Dahlia is another one. Like, maybe he's someone actually within the church who knows. Because I don't think we've had a character like that yet. Because I don't think Barbara knows. Barbara definitely knows. She's... Yeah, anyway. I'm just thinking back to the cutscene with the harp and stuff. It's a funny moment. But yeah, so things that I liked, it was very stylized. It was definitely focusing on like the treasure hoarders breaking into the Dawn Winery, gonna steal some stuff, and the visuals got a little wacky, and you have Dahlia, who had been essentially staking them out and then jumping them. And it was cool how you had the gameplay kind of like in that area doing the thing. Because I know for some of these, the gameplay and what's happening in the little story that they're telling has been kind of like mismatched a little bit. Not all the time, but I feel like more recently, a lot of the character teasers have just been more like, impressive visuals, look at this crazy stuff, and didn't actually really focus much on the gameplay showing of it. Not that I think that's too important either, because you have the collective miscellany to show that stuff, but here it was still cool how there was a narrative of sorts, right? You have Dahlia and Venti, they're talking about dandelion wine, they're drinking together. We know this guy's part of the church. You have his lines of, you know, I feel the wind, let's pray, blah blah blah. You know, there's just all this stuff leads to the Dawn Winery, where there's like a gonna be a break-in, but Dahlia jumps them, and now they're fighting out in the fields of Dawn Winery, and cool stuff. I liked seeing his little hydroglyph appear under the guy, and he used that to like knock the guy on his ass. Like, you know, that was pretty cool. So we got to see a little bit of that the character's moves and utility in action, in a little bit of a narrative of sorts, some cool visuals, some nice smooth music to go with it, and I wanted another minute of it, because we only got a minute of it, really, and I thought it was great. I like how he is a sword user, but he pulls out the book for the hydro stuff. I think that is definitely some cool animation choices there, and I really do look forward to checking more of those animations out to really see those details. But anyway, that is pretty much what I had to say about Dahlia, I think. I don't really have much else to go off of. I think they're an interesting character. I look forward to, I guess, seeing their part in the story. I guess in 5.6 they had an appearance, right? That's when we first started seeing them. I don't know if they've been mentioned before that, like I've said earlier, I believe. And yeah, that's about it. To say another thing, I know that playing the 5.6 Archon quest is totally a thing that I could potentially do, because that happens in Mondstadt and it's albedo related, and I have done and reacted to other things including albedo, and it kind of continues that story, I would imagine. And as far as that goes, I probably could, but I don't think I will, just because I like to go in order. I am following my checklist as much as possible to stay in order. The only time I've skipped the order of something is so I would be able to react to an event. But also the things that I've skipped around to do have not been that far away from what I'm currently doing either, if that makes any sense. So I think I'm just still going to go in order as much as it pains me and deal with it that way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I know this was about a ramble and a half to talk about Dahlia and Skirk and the do's and don'ts and what I want and what I don't want to do on this channel. So there's a little bit of an update video, I guess, as well. I hope that you guys are chill with that. Not that there's anything that's going to change if you're not, but I don't intentionally want to upset anybody. But that's just how things are, and I hope that you continue to have a good day and enjoy the game in the way that you want to enjoy it, like how I'm going to enjoy the game, how I want to enjoy it. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know by leaving a like. Write your thoughts down below in the comment section. You can check out the description for additional ways of how to support me, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. There's a good 70 to 80% of you who just sort of watch my videos and then move on, and that doesn't feel good. So why not hit the subscribe button? It only takes a second, and you'll be updated with the stuff that happens when it comes out, and we can all just feel better about it. And that's it. Thank you so much once again, and until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.